We're kicking off Financial Literacy Month today as people are keeping an eye on the markets and the economy.
There is a lot of uncertainty right now as the tariffs take effect and the impact of cuts to government agencies begin to surface. Hiring seems to have slowed. Sean Pyles is a certified personal financial expert and a co-host of NerdWallet's Smart Money podcast. And Sean joins us now. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
A lot to unpack here. Let's start with the job market and the great uncertainty that is out there right now.
I think people can think about the uncertainty as a storm cloud in the distance. You see it off there. It might come this way, it might not, but you want to take steps to prepare regardless of what happens. So if you think that your company might be headed toward layoffs, reach out to your network now and begin to see what opportunities there might be out there. If you think that you might want to shift careers, maybe look into a new certification or a different skill set to try to mix things up. At the same time, no matter where you are with your job, it's important to save as much as you can because no matter what happens in the economy or with the job market, having a savings cushion is your best defense against any emergency.
So you talk about keeping your opportunities open. I know for my adult sons, they have been applying for jobs and it's up to 5 interviews and then you never even hear from the person. Is that standard and why would companies do this?
In NerdWallet's jobs report, we found that people in Gen Z were the most ghosted generation, and there could be a few factors at play here. Part of it might come down to experience. People in Gen Z haven't been in the workforce quite as long as millennials or other generations. At the same time, technology could be playing a factor here too, because there are so many jobs to apply for, so many people applying for these jobs, it can be easier to just stop talking to someone who's applying, even if you've been interviewing with them 5 times or more.
Traditionally, the job market is commensurate with age, and that is when you're older, you have a tendency to stay where you're at. When you're younger, you're more ambitious, you may want to move around a little bit. Is that still the case?
We're finding that workers across generations are feeling pretty stuck in the jobs that they do have. The Conference Board came out and saw that future job prospects are at their lowest in 12 years, the way people feel about their future job prospects. So a lot of people are staying put.
With the economy and the tariffs right now, how confident are employers that they really are going to not only hire people, but maybe not lay off people?
It really comes down to industry. Industries that are impacted by the tariffs, like perhaps the auto industry, could see more layoffs versus another industry that isn't quite as impacted. So it really depends on the job that you're in. And as an individual worker, you need to feel that out and see what pivots you might need to make or not in your current job.
Construction jobs too, because of the tariffs being put on lumber. And a ton of our lumber comes from Canada.
Right. So in that case, if you see that you might not be able to sell as much lumber because prices are going up, what other jobs are there out there? Like if you're in a sales position for a lumber company, maybe pivot to a different industry or a different job in that same area.
I was surprised to read in your survey there that people are generally happy with their jobs, their current jobs. And I know you say look for opportunities, but it was surprising to me that so many people were content.
There's a balance of people feeling content in their jobs, but also stuck in their current jobs too. We're in what's called the Great Stay. Think about a few years ago where people were job hopping like wild. That's not happening at the same rate that it was anymore.
Why?
So I think people are appreciating where they are. They're seeing a lot of uncertainty out there. There is that storm cloud. They want to just stick tight and know where they're safe.
So that must translate to the housing market too. People are not going to move or change like apartments to condos, et cetera, if they're so uncertain about their own jobs.
You know, you would think so, but we're seeing a lot of people shopping for homes right now. So I think that we're getting a lot of mixed signals as we've been seeing in the economy for the past 5 years since the pandemic hit.
Now, with interest rates being so high, is that because people think they might actually go higher? I mean, let's pivot and talk about the economy.
Interest rates have been high for a while, and they're not coming down. So people are saying, I want to move, I'm going to. So mortgage applications have been going up recently.
Sean, thank you so much for your time. Originally from Homewood Flossmoor, graduated Naperville Central, now living in Oregon.
Yep, you're from Portland, Oregon.
Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
You can hear more from Sean Pyles on NerdWallet's award-winning Smart Money podcast. He's joined by Elizabeth Ayula, and they cover a wide range of topics: retiring, investing, paying off debt, buying a home. You can find that Sean wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.